And even though I hated myself this week, truly, I still sat down and worked out a little bit. And even though it wasn't as much work as I wanted to do, and even though it wasn't perfect, I still showed up to class, I still did it, and I still came up with a solution. Hi. It is currently 12:11 on March 10th. Let me sit you down and let's talk a little. This vlog was supposed to be my birthday week. This is my birthday card I got from my husband. It's been a very subtle, nondescript affair. It's also like the 2-year anniversary of the pandemic being like, it's gonna be over in 2 weeks. For my 26th birthday, I was in Hawaii with my friends, going back to where we lived when I lived there. And, you know, last year was my first pandemic birthday. This one feels even more hollow somehow. The last thing you saw was the stream, but I did write a couple of pages about the show, and I'm nowhere closer to an outline, to a synopsis or anything. And it's really starting to get to me. I haven't posted a new vlog in a couple of weeks, and part of me feels it's like, well, you should be working, you should be writing, and if you're not writing, then you don't really get to edit vlogs, because that's fun stuff. Even though I need the vlogs to know where I am. Like, it's a mental health thing, and my mental health has really suffered from not taking the time to edit. I was talking to my husband, about 28. He's about 10 months older than me, so he turns 29 soon, and he was like, 28 was the year of decisions for me. And I think it's a really good way to look at what this year has in store. 27 felt like a lot of waiting. Like, yes, I wrote the book of a musical. Great. I just heard back from BMI literally today, and auditions are not going to be happening in March anymore. They're going to be happening sometime in the spring. And now we're going to be starting after Labor Day, which is in September. I applied for this in August, so the program would have started a year after I applied. I'm reaching the point in this where what is the point of these vlogs? I know that they have a point for me, and the point for me is that any minuscule attempt at forward motion is worth recording for me, because watching these back to me as I sit down and write and work on this makes me feel like I've made some strides, however small they are, because it really does feel so small. I've mentioned, I know, in these vlogs that I'm going to be in outlining hell for a while, and part of me wants to attempt Camp Nano for the first time and try and write the next draft of the book of the show for Camp Nano, so then I can start writing songs. I'm very adamant about avoiding the songwriting process as long as possible until I have a book that I really, really like. But at the same time, my blind spots are becoming clearer to me. I don't have a lot of experience telling focused stories. I don't have a lot of experience with writing in general, long form, right? I can write songs, and that I can do very well. And right now I'm trying to work in an area in which I am, in my opinion, underqualified and learning on the job. And it's really frustrating, intimidating, and it really gets me down. Especially this week, I hate to use the word depressed because it is a clinical condition, but I really have felt depressed. Truly, truly, truly just sad, devastated, unmovable, unmotivated. I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn a lot, as I've talked about, kind of hyperfixating on it. Yesterday, on my birthday, well, I mean, it's the 10th now, but on my birthday on the 8th, I played it all day, and me empaché. There isn't really an English word for that, but I played it so much I couldn't take it anymore. And that kind of got me out of the buzz of that. But then I didn't have anything that brought me joy. I have done exactly maybe 2.5 hours of work on my project this week. And that sucks for me because I know that I could do better and I can't. I'm struggling with motivation, like so. I can't even begin to tell you how much I'm struggling and how much I feel like I have to work faster because I'm doing this. The vlogs help me remember, but at the same time, what is the point of posting a vlog if I feel like I haven't made progress? That is the content creator struggle. I think I'm just gonna have to let that go, but I want to be upfront about those feelings here because they're for me anyway. So I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully before class, working, because class is at 11, so I'll see you then. Hi, it is currently 12:05 p.m. I just finished my lessons with John, literally. Hi, little boy, you wanna say hi? Yes, you do. So I just finished my lessons with John and we have mapped out 5 scenes. It's very interesting because ever since deciding to cut Javier out, the story has streamlined. Like, this is act 1 in my kind of original master outline. And I really like act 2 at the moment. Kind of the pace, obviously, it's very concise in comparison with act 1. But as I talked about yesterday, I wrote a couple of pages, all of just backstory that I thought was going to be in the opening number, but according to John, doesn't actually have to be there because it comes through the writing rather than like an info dump at the beginning. So let me show you what we came up with if my final draft file would open. Here's kind of the synopsis section typed up. This is the synopsis here. The show starts here. This is just kind of the background and everything that motivates Alejandra into doing it. And I had about, I would say, a scene in the theater sense. So back when I was studying theater, and obviously I always talk and put you down, I thought that scenes were divided by musical numbers because as an actor, if you're like learning scenes and stuff like that, and especially if you're doing ensemble work, you're usually like attached to an ensemble number. So there might be a scene that's longer, that's living kind of in that period, but you yourself are actually attached to the songs, and that's kind of what I used to think of. So when I was writing the show, I had like, I don't know, 50 scenes in the total of the entire show. It's very long. Turns out, been thinking of scenes wrong. Scenes are locations. So my first scene, which is what I wrote here, which again, still struggling with the terminology a little bit. The scenes are all in one place. So what happens at Café con Leche, and which is now going to be the Busy Bean, actually. At the Busy Bean, we have 2 songs, which is going to be the opening number and the I Want song. And that is one scene. In the next part of the show, which I'll show you actually here. In the next part, we have the next scene. We have the Los Andes scene, which is going to be the fake profile scene. And it's going to change from them getting kind of a promotion to Alejandra just being another cog in the machine. Like, it's about manipulation. We have to fly to Idaho for another assignment in a month. That's how long we have to get it done. That's where the whole month thing comes from. Like, they have to get this thing sold in a month, and they've never failed up to this point. Nick and Megan are tag teaming and have always done it that way. And then last but not least, we have at the end of that first day, so day 1, but scene 3 is going to be a scene between mother and daughter, and it's going to be the Tomás song, and I think it's going to be a duet with Rosa kind of having the bigger portion of it, where we get to see why Rosa feels the way that she does, and the life insurance policy, and missing Tomás. And then we're already at the next day. We have the love duet between Megan and Alejandra, where Megan's like, this is amazing. Again, kind of keeping a lot of the same beats from my original idea, where it's like, this is amazing, why don't you do this? And then she's like, well, I never thought I was good enough. And, you know, she's like, well, you are good enough. And, you know, if you work with me, we can do this. Like, this is amazing. And I can see where the story's going. So my assignment for this week was to start writing the I Want song. I still don't feel comfortable writing because I want to have all my ducks in a row. And John was very much like, writing is not like that. You're gonna have to do rewrites. That's just the name of the game. So I have to get over that fear, the trepidation of jumping in and starting to write songs, because at the end of the day, if I want to market this project, I need some fucking songs. But I told him that it's going to be over 2 weeks. So this next week, I'm going to map out Act 1 as much as I can. And I think now that I have so much in my head about the story, I could potentially map out the rest of the show and start writing. So all of a sudden, Camp NaNoWriMo is starting to become like a real possibility for me. If Camp NaNoWriMo for me for April is just me writing the hook for every song in the show, it'll already be more than my 0 draft. I guess I did need some time away from the project, and I did need to feel like shit for a while, because boy, your girl has been feeling like shit. And I know I talked about it yesterday, but I don't remember what I said. You do, because you watched it before getting to this part. But I just want to say that things are turning around. And even though I hated myself this week, truly, I still sat down and worked out a little bit. And even though it wasn't as much work as I wanted to do, and even though it wasn't perfect, I still showed up to class, I still did it, and I still came up with a solution to the problem. And I'm still slowly inching my way forward. And that's something to be proud of. All right, I will see all of you in another vlog. I don't know. Hi, Editing Maiga here. I don't have anything for my birthday. I didn't record anything on that day. And today is the 19th of March. It's been like 11 days since my birthday. And I've just been really struggling with feeling good about my birthday, but I did end up feeling better about it when I saw my sister later that week. I just wanted to talk to you about things I got for my birthday, because this is also a collection for me. I'm sorry if you can hear the heater, but it's really important for me to have this, because sometimes you feel like people maybe don't care about your birthday, but they do, and sometimes you're just being dramatic. All right, so when my sister was in town last week, per the vlog, we actually went out and got ourselves the birthday presents for each other, since we knew we weren't going to spend our birthday together. First thing she got me is this Harney & Sons Master Tea Blenders, the Royal English Breakfast. It's been great. I have been drinking it. I'm actually going to make it right now. The tea kettle's boiling. Also love the tin, so I will be using this for maybe sugar later or something that I can keep in my little tea area in my office. And she also gifted me Putting It Together, How Stephen Sondheim and I Created Sunday in the Park with George by James Lapine, or Lapine, I don't know. I've only ever read it. Sunday in the Park with George is not even my favorite Sondheim. I will talk about that in a second. But I love the first act of the show. I think as I get older, I think the second act will kind of be revealed to me. I've also never seen a production of it, which I think is probably one of the reasons why it doesn't click with me yet. But I've always been fascinated by the process of putting it together, which is why I have this vlog, which is why I stream the writing process for my musical. So having this makes me feel really close to the musical theater writers before me, and especially Sondheim, who has been my North Star for a long time, along with Joni Mitchell and Lin-Manuel, and just so many. Then for myself, I got myself a couple of things this year, not a lot. I got myself the In the Heights Apple House libretto, the complete book and lyrics of the Broadway musical. I have this on my computer, and I've actually read it while I was preparing to put together my show, and I like continually reference the script, especially kind of how to put it together. But I love that there's like the cast photos there, so it's just nice to know I have like a physical copy that's gonna live on my bookcase if I ever just want to thumb through it and read it again. And I got this one, Dear Evan Hansen. I've never seen the show or heard the musical, but I do know that the movie was absolutely panned, and so I'm curious to read the source material and listen to the show and wonder why it hit audiences when it did. Watched a lot of like YouTube deep dives on this, So I've just been fascinated to read the stuff. For my birthday, I also went out to ramen with my husband. Here are some photos. It was really nice. I almost cried, of course, because I was just not feeling my birthday, as you can tell from this vlog, and that's why I wanted to come in here and like, I'm fine. And then something that I did that I don't know if I'm actually gonna post a whole vlog of, but I went to go see my sister and my mom for the weekend as like a birthday present to myself. And we went out, and the thing that I went to go see was Assassins by East West Players, which is an Asian American theater company in Little Tokyo. They do wonderful theater, and they do kind of Assassins but with an Asian American cast. And overall, I just really wanted to go see Assassins. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. It's probably my second or first favorite Sondheim score, so seeing it done in person was absolutely amazing. By the time that this comes out, it'll obviously not be running in LA anymore, but I highly recommend you support your local theater as much as you can. And then we went to eat out in an Argentinian restaurant, which I actually write about in my show, and my mom is a half Argentinian, so very interesting to kind of lean into that side of our culture sometimes, since we, you know, I was really raised mostly Chilean, as was my mom, since we grew up mostly with like my mom's side of the family. So it's really, really cool. Outside of the Assassin stuff, I haven't gotten myself any sort of big birthday present yet. I got Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, but I was gonna buy that no matter what. It wasn't for my birthday. It was just like my favorite game ever. So I've yet to buy something for my birthday to really commemorate year 28. And maybe, you know, maybe I don't need to buy anything. I think I'm in a very privileged position to be like, there isn't really anything I need to buy, and that's something to take stock off. So I feel really, really fortunate that I didn't buy anything for my birthday. Although for my 27th birthday, I did buy an electric guitar. So maybe I'll buy some gear. I'm thinking of getting maybe a second monitor or something, like one that matches the one that's in my office. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And with that, thank you so much for letting me just insert this little bit of just positivity in this vlog, and I will see you